You're listening to Liberty Today. I'm Cody. This is my co-host Alex, and today we have some interesting topics. Not as important as some of the other news that we've presented, because this isn't exactly um, recent news, breaking news, but they're cool topics. First one we have here is Trump selling off student loans to private industries. Um, this is essentially just transferring a long-term asset into cash by giving the loan away.
Oh, you're such a stinker.
You're a stinker, dude.
No, and I'll admit this right now. We had 15 minutes recorded until we
Yeah.
noticed an audio issue, and now you're using my sophisticated languages to make yourself sound smart. You said in the
Oh,
first
yeah?
video, this is selling student
Okay,
loans
buddy.
to these
I
private
was just
industries.
I thought maybe I should just use the experience that I had to provide a better
All right.
narration. But
I
you know what? You know
educated
what?
you. Go ahead. Sorry, my bad. My bad.
You take it away. I was gonna give you the credit, not really, but I'll say it to make myself
Wow,
look
you're
better.
so humble. So
I
humble.
know. That's
No.
my middle name, bud. But
But
okay, I guess to finish my thought, companies do this all the time between each other. It's just basically a transfer of assets. So
I
this
hate
isn't
you.
exactly unprecedented. But I'll leave the economic expert to take it away now, Mr.
Dude,
Alex.
taking it all. No, what Cody said, I guess. No,
You said we had
So-
15 minutes of discussion. I talked for 30 seconds. Go
That's
ahead.
True. So, this is recent news. So the Department of Education and the Department of Treasury within the Trump administration has been discussing this possibility of taking current student loan numbers or accounts and selling them to private industries, private creditors, private banks. Now, there's $1.6 trillion total in student loan debt. Of that, there's 45 million Americans, 45 million plus loan accounts.
Those numbers are way too high.
They're ridiculous, and they could be a whole different conversation for another day. We can talk about how useless college can be. As a guy with a degree, so I'm smarter and better than you, is what I think that means.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I did
what I
take all
understood
your
from the
words earlier,
Yeah,
so
you did. But no, genuinely, it is exactly how Cody phrased it. It is just, this is something that private entities do all the time. The best example is mortgages. That's just one of the more common long-term loans that people get themselves into. It's very common that during the term of your 30-year loan, you might have a bank or two switches. So you might be paying to JP Morgan Chase for like 2 years, and then I know where they sell it to Wells Fargo, and that's your bank for the rest of the 28 years you have that loan. That happens, and typically what that looks like is that JP Morgan Chase, for some whatever reason, maybe needs cash, or they want to offload some loans, right? Maybe they shift focus into something else, or it's no longer their priority as a bank, and they want assets to put into something else, whether it's a different department, fines or loans that they have to pay off or pay into. They might sell the account at a very huge discount. So if it's a $200,000 mortgage, they might sell it for $95,000 to Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo goes, of course, yeah, we'll take that long-term loan, 28 years, and we'll make like, by the time the interest between interest and this payment's probably like $300,000. We could probably even talk them into doing an equity line of credit. So yeah, this is a cash cow. We have so many ways to make money off this guy, and so that's an incentive for both companies to do this, because someone's getting a long-term income and someone's getting immediate cash. So there's time value to long-term loans, and that's what makes them so valuable in the banking industry.
May I ask?
Yeah.
What's the incentive for Trump to do this with federal student loans?
In the sense of, what's the incentive for him to sell these, as in for the American people or for the government?
Both, if there
Okay.
is one for both.
So government obviously is money, right? They can sell these accounts at a discount, or these accounts at a discount where they can make cash, and this could be things to pay for a lot of Trump's agenda or government agenda, or to pay down the debt. So these are things that can be useful for any, like the reasons that private entities might do it. They want cash on hand to pay down debts, loans, or offload the loans. the one incentive we can think about is the fact that Trump wants to get rid of the Department of Education. One of the things that people keep asking about is, well, how are you going to deal with the student loans then? Some people imply that it would be switched over to the Treasury. I actually think this is a more competent way to do this, which is, okay, hold on, lob it over at private entities, they deal with it, I get rid of my Department of Education, and this whole issue becomes a non-issue for the government. It actually ends the political debate over student loans in a more definitive way. I'm sure it'll still be around, but it's a more of a, hey, all right, well, the federal government has nothing to do with this because we don't do that anymore. So, LOL. So there's that incentive, and I'll let you chirp in there if you want to speak on that.
Yeah, because as I understand it, this isn't just Trump making these industries take. Like, he's selling it. They would choose to buy it.
Yes. So
own it.
that's not assuming. So that has to assume, one, that someone will be willing to buy it, which they will be. There's already private entities like SoFi and stuff like that already do private student loans. So this is basically just saying, hey, all student loans are private now. Okay, cool. We'll take those. That assumes that every single one of those accounts gets bought. The ones that have nobody paying into them are likely not going to get bought. And if they do get bought, it's going to be litigious. And so there might be, again, this goes into more speculation, but I do think, obviously, yes, they're trying to sell this. So this is something that they want people to buy. So this isn't like they're going to just shift it to private entities and go, all right, here you guys go. Here's millions and trillions of dollars to make. Have fun. It's like, no, pay us and you'll get these accounts. And so I'm not saying they're going to get $1.6 trillion. No, not in a million years will they get that. But it's going to be probably a few $100 billion if you were to sell all those accounts.
That's a lot of money. It really is. Even for the government.
It is a very little amount of money.
Well,
but
think about where that can get you. How many yachts?
It's true. But how many militaries does it buy you? Not even a quarter.
Well, you can get. I'm pretty sure that's enough to get like a carrier bolt for a jet or something, probably.
There we go. Yeah, that might be like a few bullets.
Yeah, a few.
It's useful because
per round.
Yeah, it's useful because it does offload this issue onto private entities. It does stimulate a little bit of that market. It does boost jobs. It could be beneficial to private entities as a whole, but also to people individually. This is going to be way better. There's things that private entities can do that the public just can't, the government can't do, whether it's because of politics or because of regulations, which goes into politics. There's just certain things that they can't do. And there's less consistency. So where a bank is going to want to make money, and to make money, they want you to pay the loan, all right? Slowly. They want you to slowly pay it, but they do want you to pay it, all right? And so if their whole job is to make that money and get you to pay it, they're going to be consistent on making you pay it. Whereas the government is so politically driven that, I mean, for the last almost 4 years, no one's ever had to pay their student loans. Interests were paused and no payment was necessary since, I think, COVID, up until the Trump administration came in. And additionally, we had
really
4
tough
years.
to budget off of that.
Yeah, well, and it's also tough when you have 4 years of a president going, I'm going to cancel your student loans. And the courts say, no, you can't. And then he goes, no, I still will. And then he only cancels a few. And then another administration comes in and goes, yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore. And so there's less consistency because if you think about it in the terms of like how parliamentary governments do it, where once a prime minister comes in, it's considered a new government, right? That's the same concept with the president. Every 4 years, you're getting a whole new agenda, a whole new focus, a whole new government, right? I mean, think about when Trump first got into office, the Republican Party completely evolved into something so radically different that you're thinking, oh my God, wait, like, that's kind of crazy. It was cool. I enjoyed seeing it. But again, politics is so, how would you say, is dynamic, right?
Yeah,
So
very
it's
dynamic.
Very
changes all the time.
Banking's static, okay? We want your money.
Yeah, simple.
Simple.
Easy to understand.
Now, there's some things that I want to mention that are key benefits, which is that you might have less easy ways to garnish your wages, like the government can. and more suitable ways to kind of defend yourself in court now with these debt. So if you can't pay it for whatever reason, these companies can take you to court, and now you have the right in front of a court to defend why you can't make these payments. And you might actually get court assistance on that. You can't, I don't think, bankrupt on it. I think that's law, even in the private student loans. But even then, if it's been private entities, then you might actually start asking yourself, hold on, can we think about that again? Can we start bankrupting on this stuff? There's some general financial health questions that this can spark, which we'll get into, because I have some questions that I want to try to break down. But to kind of conclude with this general information part, you're going to see a lot of benefits because of what private industries can do. One example I want to give to kind of map this is credit cards. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually call your credit card company and tell them, hey, I can't pay this anymore, and I don't think I will. And they hate that, and that really scares them. And then not for everyone, right? This is not a guarantee, but you can negotiate where, okay, well, fine, we'll close the account, you won't accrue interest, but you still have to pay. Does that work for you? Right? You can do that right now. Right. And at the end of the day, what they want is they definitely want you to pay the principal back, right? They don't want you to not pay at all. So again, that's not me giving you financial advice. In no way, shape, or form do I recommend doing that.
I'm gonna shut down my card that has $50 on it.
Yeah. Now, again, it's a smart financial move if you do it right and if you need to, but you should never put yourself in a position to do that. Anyways.
No, it's kind of like bankruptcy. Like,
you don't want to be there, and bankruptcy is not as glamorous as it seems to be, because it doesn't just mean, oh, I'm bankrupt, I don't want to pay these anymore. It might be the
like
case.
Monopoly where you just get like publicly
you can go bankrupt and still have to pay people back. You just have to pay it less. But I also think, I'll mention this quickly because of private industries, because they're probably buying these on discounts, you have room to negotiate now. Because if someone buys my $5,000 student loan from the feds for $1,000, you bet my bottom buckle I'm going, nah, I'm paying you like $3,000, right? Like, hold on, you just got a huge discount. Give me one
all
now.
they could say is like, yeah.
Which you can do, by the way, not necessarily to your first creditor, but to a debt collector when they take on your account. But again, this is an example of this happening in real life. Your credit card goes to collections. Someone collects that collections account. They own your account. They buy it for like $500. You got like $5,000 on there. They might come and go, hey, if you give me like $2,000, it's gone. That happens like now, right? So this isn't something unknown or unheard of. It's a little new because it being the public to the private. But as a whole, I want to hear a little bit more on your thoughts here.
I feel like this has the potential to reduce costs of college. Potential.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really know how the market in that regard works. I know there's probably a lot of corruption involved with tuition prices constantly increasing for seemingly no reason.
Yeah.
But I feel like when private industry is involved, things tend to evolve in a good way.
Yes, 100%.
So I think there's a potential that with loans being taken directly to private industries, they might try and compete with each other by negotiating lower prices,
lower interest rates.
Lower interest rates, or even negotiate trying to keep the same interest rate, but saying, hey, I'm going to charge you less because I can negotiate with your school and get your costs lowered. You're going to have the same interest rate though, so I make profit, but don't go to that guy. He's not going to be able to do it as good as I can.
More importantly,
purely speculation, but I feel like there's potential for that to happen, especially if you have, like, how many did you say, 45 million Americans owing debt. That's a lot of people where just if anybody can just educate them on how this system works, that's a lot of people that can manipulate these companies.
100%. And actually, you
government's kind of fixed.
Yeah, you sparked and right, exactly. That you sparked something in my brain as well. More variable loans, not in the sense of variable interest. Don't ever take variable, always fixed. But dynamic loans, in the sense of you and I are both going to college, right? We both apply to college. You choose engineering. Oh, hell yeah, that's awesome. And I choose English. Ooh, right? I go to a loan and you go to a loan, and we both try to get student loans out. now the bank might go, English, what's your plan with that? Oh, I want to be an English teacher. Oh, okay. Okay, that works. Like, we can make money off that. But because it's still a risk, you're going to get 5%. Where you, the engineer, will go, oh, what kind of engineering? Electrical? Oh, here's 2%. My God, go get that degree. You want to
That's actually
do you want a
that's a
master's
good
degree?
point.
You want a master's degree too? Oh, go and get that master's. Because in the realm of the public, there is no such thing as return on investment. It's a blank check. Where in the private
Yeah, they're kind of
industry, they
careless.
have to think about the return on investment because they are investing in you now, right? Now college isn't just you investing in yourself. It is now, hey, this bank is investing in you. Hey, we want to make sure you're doing this. So when it comes like, hey, we're going to give you that 6-month grace period because you're all used to that. Like, that's a good thing. Hey, bud, 5 months in, you don't have a job yet that you've told us about. What's the plan here, bud? Like, we gave you this loan. We're going to start. You better have our money. But yeah,
I think that's actually very realistic
no.
and incredible. That if that would actually happen, I think that'd be incredible for a lot of young Americans because
Oh yeah.
obviously it's the individual's fault for choosing a crappy degree that they're never going to get a job in
hmm
and going in debt for it. But
I actually disagree, but
to
I'll get
have
into that.
something slapped right in your
Yeah.
face before you even try to get in saying, "Hey, we're going to charge you a lot of money because we don't think you're going to pay this back."
Yeah.
That could be a clarifying enough moment for somebody to say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe I should rethink what I'm doing."
More
Now, obviously
importantly,
it's the
yeah.
individual's fault, but maybe that could be a boost to help some people get out of that trap,
So
which would be
I
good for
partially
everybody.
agree and partially disagree. I actually blame the institutions when I come down to this stuff. And the reason for that is one, and I'll say this, one, what could result from this is that colleges just stop giving out garbage degrees, right? You no longer can study gender studies or anything like that. But what I disagree
At
with
least
is
not
that
be
it's
able to major in it.
the student's fault. I actually, as someone who's been to college, right, as a guy with a degree, I can give you a little bit of insider. Um, First of all, you are so young when you're going to college. We've talked about it off pod where I'll talk to you about the fact that like I don't necessarily regret the philosophy degree I got. That's what I got. I'm a philosophy degree guy, by the way. There's my leak. I have a degree in philosophy. Um,
We'll dox your house soon, don't worry.
yeah. No, it's nothing impressive. And history. There you go. So I doubled down on being unemployed. This is why we're doing the podcast. Anyways, um, but I sometimes talk to you because I'm also into finances. I do a lot of investments, and I do have my regular like some licenses within finance and stuff. And sometimes we talk about it where I'm like, I wish I would have gone for finance and accounting or economics had I known my interest getting into college. Because I found my
Yeah.
interest in this stuff near the end of my college year. I looked back and went, hey, I'm really good at this business stuff. Too bad I'm already almost locked into on this degree and I can't turn back or unless I want to spend another year extra in college. And
Yeah,
so,
I actually
yeah,
I was gonna go to a school and be a lineman where it wasn't college level. It was only 6 months, like basically a semester,
yeah.
where I got training for being a lineman, like working on electrical lines, getting a CDL. Cost like $23,000. I was almost about to do it. Like I had class coming up in just 4 months, and I said, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this, so
So you
I cut
switched and
away
became a
from it.
seaman.
Yeah, I took about a year, not a gap year where I don't work and do nothing. I worked at like 3 different jobs, kind of figuring out what I want to do, and then yeah, like he said, I ended up becoming a seaman, enlisting in the Navy.
A
So
seaman.
just a little bit of time helps. When I was that young, I thought, oh yeah, I definitely want to do this. When
Yeah,
I could have
well,
very
yeah.
easily fallen into a
hmm
trap where, okay, this is my career now because this is the only thing that'll make me enough money to pay it off.
Well, yeah, I 100% agree. Only because you think about, so I'll give it a little bit more on my part. I went to the philosophy and history major because I was told it was really going to LSAT, and that was my plan. I was going to go to law school. It wasn't until I got out of college, and within a few months of being out of education, out of this, like yes, I'm going to go law. I'm going to do LSATs. That being like my whole mindset. Having a few months of that gap of going, wait, is that what I want to do? And it clicked. I was like, no, I actually really don't want to be in law. Like, I actually kind of really like that finance and business stuff. I kind of want to get back into that.
And
And
if I'm correct, you kind of figured that out after you started working in the field, right?
yeah, I started working in the legal field. I'm still actively in the legal field in a bit, but I'm starting that transition out of it. And so yeah, I realized while in the field this isn't for me, and that's something else where education can't simulate the real world activities that you would actually engage in. And so yeah, I fell into a trap where I was being told by my college, by the way, that I had a marketable degree and that I will do good. And this isn't just me. I mean, you look at almost any, so you look up at any school website and you go like sociology, and there will be like, oh, this is such a good degree. Like you can get XYZ jobs. Our alumni have worked here, here, and here. And it's like, okay, yeah, but of like the 10 who succeeded, how many didn't? Right? I
Yeah.
know my school does that a lot. A lot of the majors get like, oh, our graduates in this major make an average of X amount of thousands of dollars a year. It's like, yeah, but are they still doing things related to the major, or did they just get lucky and got a job that paid really well without the need of this degree, or did they go get
And
more education?
I bet some of the stats don't even count the ones that didn't get a job in their degree. Like,
No,
hey,
yeah, yeah,
all
no, it
that
definitely doesn't.
our engineers, all the ones that ended up getting an engineering job, look how much money they're making. We don't talk about the other ones.
Yeah, don't talk about the guy who's working at like Walmart right now as like a stalker, but he stocks his shelves very
A
precisely.
greeter.
Yeah. Um. So as a whole, I don't know if I blame necessarily the students. I blame the institutions and the institutions around them, specifically the government, for allowing people to actually get a loan out to do those things. Right. It is fraud, in my opinion, circling around each other because
Oh
it's
yeah.
you have the institution selling you on garbage, like they're snake oil salesmen, but then you don't have the money for it, so you go and borrow it from your guy who's supposed to be protecting you from snake oil salesmen. You're like, hey, can I buy the snake oil? Oh, dude, hell yeah! But you owe us money, by the way, if you take this. Oh yeah, he's saying I'm gonna make a ton of money if I do this thing that he's telling me I should do. So I 100% should do this. Here you go. And then you're there and you realize, wait, hey, big brother over there, these guys are saying you pay them a ton of money without me giving them money. Is that true? It's like, oh yeah, we give them millions every year in funding to teach you this useless stuff that we just gave you money, borrowed we allowed you to borrow money from us so that you could pay them again our money, which isn't our money. It's actually your money and all the people you hang out around's money because it's the taxpayer dollar. But yeah, we pay them, we fund you, and we let you do this, and we promote it too. Did I miss anything there? I think I got everything in this little circle jerk that happens with higher education.
Just about. Yeah, I mean, I guess the other thing too is I don't know.
Oh, and by the
I
way,
don't
you have to
know if
buy the professor's book for the class. That's like four
oh
hundred
yeah, you
dollars.
can't forget
Don't forget
that.
about that.
But I think one thing I want to touch on too is that, at least for me, I bet for you too, is that my entire childhood, from like the first books I read all the way up to literally leaving high school, everybody said, "Get ready because you're going to go to college." Like
Yeah,
as
yeah.
as if that was necessary.
I
They
only
don't even
went to
tell you what
college
you're going to go to
because
college for,
yeah,
like why you should. They literally just say you're gonna go. Figure out what you like.
I only went to college because my school prioritized it. Like they told
Yeah,
you
and,
you had to. It was like
and they'll look down on
setup.
other people too. Like, you don't want to be like the janitor. You don't
Yeah.
want to be that plumber. It's like, yeah, look at that
True.
plumber's sal.
True.
Look at
I
that
mean,
plumber's
yeah.
salary first,
Well,
and then
it's
so all
so
that
funny.
pressure
Yeah.
bearing down on you, to bearing down the average student to go right to college, and then at
Oh
the
yeah.
same time every avenue to college is like open door, like, hey, come right in, we'll treat you well.
Oh my god,
Not
yeah.
knowing not knowing the risks, how much money they're going to spend, how big of a decision this really is. Like when you're that young, you
Oh
don't really
yeah.
understand like forever. Like the degree you get, you might have to work a job with that degree even if you don't like it, because that's the only job that'll make enough money for you to get out of that debt
Well, why do
when you're
colleges
like
have
40.
mascots? Why do they have cute
uh,
little names?
um Gay,
Right?
I don't know.
Marketable.
Oh
Merch.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Why do they have a
that.
merchandise? Well, let me tell you why. Because in high school, when you get accepted, by the way, before you graduate, right, you get accepted into these colleges
Yep.
I forget the terms for in school because it's been a while, but we'll say a semester. You get in, you have a little bit of college left, and guess what? Now, oh my God, everyone and their mother is walking around in the university clothing that they just got into. Oh, there's University of Virginia over there, UT over there, Texas Tech over there. Everyone's wearing
They
their
wear it with
college merch
pride.
now. Oh yeah, it's a huge pride thing. And then, right? Oh my God, the Ponzi scheme here is incredible. Whoever came up with this, because then you actually get there and they incentivize you to keep having school spirit. I'm okay with school spirit. I actually like school spirit. I was very involved in my college
I'm
and
very
also in high school.
nationalist. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
School spirit.
But then you graduate, and they still want you to carry that, and then they also want you to donate. I remember I graduated on a Saturday. That Monday, they called me and went, "Hey, so do you want to make a donation then, an alumni donation?" And I went, "I
What?
literally don't even have a job yet. You guys
Hey,
haven't
did my checks not go through?
Guys, I did not even get my diploma yet. You guys gave me a fake on stage. I'm waiting for that to come through the mail. It's like I don't even have the degree yet. Chill." So
yeah, they chucked yours in the garbage after that call.
yeah, actually, my fiance, she got hers. We went to the same institution, went to the same university. That's where we met. My fiance got hers in the mail, and our postman folded it and shoved it into the thing, and then he had to do it on purpose. He perfectly folded it where it says, "Do not fold." By the way, we tested it. It 100% would have fit in the mailbox without being folded. It did not need to be folded to fit. It was so funny. But the university was really cool about it. They gave her a free one, so not a big deal. But anyways,
pay her whole tuition again to get.
Yeah, had to restart. What I'm more interested about this program is to see if this works, if this is a test. Because I think it's a good idea. First of all, I'm super pro this. I think this should happen. I'm curious on what this is going to lead other financial systems the government's involved in, and it's specifically something that I really talk about a lot in my own personal life, and something that I'm super passionate about. Is the Social Security system. As in passionate against it, I do not like Social Security. I don't think it's a good deal. I think it's a ripoff. I think Americans get ripped off. They pay so much money into the Social Security system. And listen, I understood it back in our grandparents kind of age, right? Where things weren't as accessible. But understand, I can now open my phone and go into Robinhood, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, and I can buy stocks right now. I can own a share of Apple right now. I did it when Tesla dropped. I bought tons of shares of Tesla when it dropped to like $200. Now it's at what, 500? Almost 500? It's like,
yeah, and just about every company, one of the first things they do is they go over all your insurances that you want to pay for. And then they say, hey, so we have a 401k. How much do you want to put into that each paycheck? And they typically match you too. So everything you do,
you have so many private industries now, because now there's competition in private industries to get better employees. So they're like, hey, we'll do a 5% match 401k, right? And so you have companies as employees that you can go to get this stuff. You have the ability to invest things in your pocket. I mean, if I ask my grandma right now, hey, grandma, did you have high yield savings accounts accessible within minutes on your phone? She'd go, well, no. She probably don't even know what that meant, right? But no, you and I, within 5 minutes, you can go on, open a high yield savings account with zero minimum put in at 4% interest. I did that. I did it. In 5 minutes. I was able to offload my Tesla stocks into a high yield savings account, and it just made me $200 every month for sitting there. I mean, so what I'm trying to say is, by the way, leaving that in there, I think I made almost half of what I paid into Social Security from having the interest sit there. So if you gave me all the money I've already paid into Social Security right now, I'd be making exactly what I'm already paying into the system, right? It is ridiculous that we think we still need this. And I 100% think it needs phased out. And I hope this is implication that it is either going to be privatized, which could be beneficial, or at least phased out. But I'll let you
Yeah,
speak.
so first of all, I want to say I think we both are in complete agreement on this. I like having some social safety nets because as a
Yeah,
country as rich as
agreed.
we are, I think we definitely can have it, and I
Yeah,
think they're beneficial to a certain
no
extent.
one should go starving in
But
America.
when left to the federal government's devices, they tend to fall apart. Social Security is a prime example of that, where we're putting in more and more money each year, but somehow it seems like less and less people actually get it. So I'm
Well,
curious
yeah.
how I'm curious how Social Security can be privatized because I know it would it be similar to how some like kind
So, yeah.
of what's the word, like pseudo insurance companies are, where it's more like a crowd fund that's put into a company and then redistributed for Social Security. It would be similar to how like a loan would be. And is that actually going to be safe for a company to hold for how that long period of time because it's retirement?
Yeah.
Or would
So,
people never actually trust that? Like the difference between a treasury bond and a
yeah.
commercial bond. What I forget
So
exactly
I
what they're
think
called.
what's important to understand is first of all how the Social Security system works. It isn't like there's a little bank account that's sitting for you when you hit 65. You pay into the system. You and I are currently paying for the current retirees to retire. That's how it
Yep.
works. When we are their age, our kids would be doing that same thing. Now, first of all, I think that out of a moral argument, we could debate that. I think that's immoral. My kid should not have to pay for my retirement. That's my job.
No.
Now, there is some risk to, I guess, doing this where it is more secure with the government. But the problem is it's going dissolvent, and what that doesn't even mean that it's technically almost running out. Basically, what this means is that at some point we were paying into it in a way that we were gaining a lot of money. So what is going dissolvent in 20, I think 35 now, is the endowment under the Social Security. Then after that point, Social Security will start losing money, right? So we have a surplus right now. We're going to lose that soon. Um, so what this would probably look at, like, which would be something that was tried in 2005 by George Bush, is that you would actually take the money in Social Security and the money that's getting paid into it, and you would actually put it into index funds, like 5 separate different index funds, I think was the original proposal. And the idea was basically you're putting them in mutual funds and you're putting them into the investment world. And the idea was that you get higher yields, like a 4% earnings. And then there was like that kind of benefit. Of course, you lose the kind of safety, but again, we have insurance already for loans, so I'm sure they could have done something um, to kind of divert from that issue of security. Like, hey, you're secured up to a certain amount that's already invested for you. And I think the idea was making you actual legitimate separate accounts. This wasn't just going to be like a pool of money. It was like you are going to have this money when you retire. I don't remember if it was that specifically, but it was pretty top on, I think, Bush's list, and it is something that's doable. It just lost momentum, which I'm not a big fan of. But also, like we denoted, and this is what bothers me about it, is like the earnings would have been like 4%. Whoop-de-doo, dude. Like, I can do that right now in my phone. Like, again, I don't think there's a necessity for Social Security anymore. Again, I like social welfare nets. I think food stamps is fine. Medicaid and Medicare is fine. I'm okay with those social nets. But some of them aren't always the greatest. Some of them currently aren't structured the best, and some of them need revamped or maybe reconsidered. Right? I love food
Yep.
stamps. Need restructured. It needs revamped. Medicaid, Medicare, love. I think
Yep.
those are perfect
Restructure
programs.
them, but keep.
Need to be reformed and restructured. Social Security, I'm against. I think it needs phased
Yeah,
out.
I'm leaning on the side of abolish it, get rid of it. Because, like
Abolish
you
it.
said, the food
It's
stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, those ones, they definitely have their place. I think
Yeah.
they are very important because it's like it's not somebody retiring making and making mistakes in their life and not having money. It's you're in a bad spot, you need some temporary help.
Yeah. I think it's fair. I think we're wealthy enough where we shouldn't have people starving, right? That being said, I want people who are overweight to stop using EBT to buy soda and junk food. That bothers me.
Spend your own money on that,
That is the majority
not
of the
mine.
people on EBT. I know it because you and I live in an area where there is a bunch of EBT cards people.
Yeah.
We know the month of the the day of the month when not to go to Walmart, Target, and other stuff like that. Because we know it's gonna be filled with um EBT people, right? It's food stamp month.
Yeah.
Um, Working retail has to be awful in areas like this. So I am interested to see how this goes. I like some of these policies. I'd like to see how they start coming into fruition. There's a lot of things I like about the Trump administration on paper and in words, but so far there's certain things where they've said things that I like, and then I haven't really seen action to follow it. Certain things I'm still kind of following and waiting to see some results from. So we'll see how this goes as well. It might just be another cabinet says they're on the desk and we're looking at it right now moment.
Yeah, I wonder. Have we ever seen that before?
No. Yeah, I can't wait till
Impossible.
you guys are still talking about this student loan stuff. It's ridiculous, guys. Come on.
Still on my desk?
But anyways, so I think there's a lot of cool stuff here. I think there's a lot of things to be excited about as both within the public interest and as loaners and creditors. So
There's
a lot
some
of things to
topics in
follow.
there we can talk about more extensively too later on. I think I really
Yeah, I
like it,
like to
especially
see
regarding college.
college, even Social Security. Like I'd like to
Yeah.
see how this all develops and see if there's other programs that start getting this kind of possible privatization. Oh my gosh, that word is killing me today.
Privatization.
Privatization. There we go. A little
Should have
bit.
eaten breakfast, bud.
I don't.
It's
Well,
the
I
most
do.
important meal of the
I
day.
do, man. It's Monster and 2 Tylenol. That's my breakfast. My
Dude,
favorite.
make an egg sandwich or something.
I don't have time.
No wonder you can't
Anyways,
say privatize.
yeah.
Well, yeah, so do you have any final thoughts on all this? Trump selling off student loans to private industries and Social Security, anything else? 'Cause I feel like we talked that point
Yeah.
pretty well to the
I
ground.
think Trump's about to
There's a
make us
lot to unpack in
billions,
there.
but we have nothing. So I think people should subscribe and share this video and these podcasts so that people
Oh
can
yeah,
watch this.
nice plug.
Yes. It's not. Is it a plug when they're actively watching if they're listening to this right now? I don't know.
Advertisement,
Advertisement? Endorsement?
of ourselves.
Do it. Peer pressure.
Yeah, please comment if there's
Comment,
anything you want
pussy.
us
Do
to
it.
talk about, or if there's things you didn't like about us talking. We're probably gonna ignore the ones we don't like because we get
I get a
nervous
little
when we're
sad.
cornered.
Yeah.
I lash out when I feel cornered.
Anyways, I agree. So, yeah, no, I think we've talked a lot on these topics. I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope you guys can share in the comments your feelings, your thoughts, your opinions, how much Cody smells bad, and
Okay, we'll read them all.
yeah, we'll
Except
read
for
it
the
all.
ones where you talk about how I smell.
No, that one I will read to him directly. But we appreciate you guys listening, and enjoy your day.
Peace out.